This is a must-see, must-play ticket with a top prize of $208,000. It's a $20 ticket with 25 games to win, plus 3 bonus spots. Are you ready for Ultimate Crazy 8 from the Caribbean Lottery?
Maybe it's the way the brilliant gold liquid reflects our sunshine, or how the bright blue of its label mirrors the clear Caribbean skies overhead. Maybe it's the fresh, crisp taste of this beastly cold beer on a scorching hot day. Maybe it's even the way it brings us all together. But one thing is for sure, Carib is very much a part of who we are wherever we're from in the Caribbean. Carib. It's the way we play. Drink responsibly.
Welcome to Island Tea with your faves Kevin and Amali, and with Azim on the ones and 96s. Keep it locked in with us for your daily dose of hot tea only on Win Media 98.9. Good morning, and welcome to another episode of Island Tea with your faves, Kevin and Amali, featuring Azim on the ones and 96s, which are actually 12s. And
he lied to us all.
He lied. And Jade on the OBS and the mouse. Welcome.
I think Azim just misses it being on 96.
That would be accurate, sir.
Oh, no, I don't.
It's okay. We all miss something. I miss Carnival. So it's fair game. So
me and Amalia about to miss Fest.
You and what?
Me and Amalia about to miss Fest.
I miss going Anguilla.
Anguilla is such a beautiful place.
I know.
The funny thing is, all weekend I just keep seeing Anguillian saying, I can't wait to go escape.
I thought it's them coming in when the borders open.
They want to come in.
And probably like USVI, because you know the USVI does charter. Not USVI, the BVI does charter.
BVI in the bubble? I called you.
No,
I asked you about this yesterday.
I think they're in the bubble.
They're not.
No, BVI in the bubble.
But you know they does charter a lot too. BVI does travel a lot, charter. But
a lot of conditions in Tatole.
All of them. Tatola is like saying it's extension.
Everybody they want to get us issues by the bottle.
You understand?
And he said, you know who citizens run this country?
Yeah, here.
I say, excuse me, sir.
This island is
you are a colony of St. Kitts. We colonize you.
Essentially.
Now get my bags.
But the weekend is over. Yeah. And it is now Monday. So before we start, I'd love everyone to tell me how everyone's weekend was.
It sucked.
I believe you. Mine was just like, bleh. Mine was fun on Sunday. Sunday I did a little group activity with some friends.
Yeah.
It was good.
The
beach.
The highlight of my week. Hold on.
We have a call already?
No.
Oh.
No. What is Friday night? I went to the Sister Isle. of Nevis, since that's the only place we could go.
I bet you know you never went to meet Nevis so much in your life.
By watch it, since Corona, the social intercourse
If only you had.
Between the islands?
between the islands.
If only you had. If you only got stamps for traveling to Nevis, we'd need new passports already.
Oh.
Because they'd be littered with stamps.
I need a passport just for Nevis.
Crazy.
But, there was actually
starting to-
something keeping Nevis on Friday.
Oh, yeah?
Into that, yeah. A
Must be
gospel thing.
nice.
Oh, the
Gospel
Lord.
thing. Yeah. So I had to make an appearance.
Yeah,
Praise.
of course.
Right.
It was for you.
Yeah. And then
In your honor.
what the Saturday back? Saturday was just chilling. But one of the things that I did, I went to support
Capo.
Capo. And yeah, so that was cool. The movie is a really good movie. I think that is the start of big things for not only him but also some of the people involved in the movie in other capacities. You know, so big up to all those who would have contributed to a Rose Among Thorns.
Indeed.
Yeah.
So you went to a gospel event in a Christ event in Nevis, and then you went to the premiere, the local premiere.
No, I didn't go to the local premiere actually. I went. I didn't go to the local premiere. I was supposed to go on Thursday.
For the movie.
Yeah, I was supposed to go on Thursday. Didn't get to make it. But I went over the weekend and just went to the movies and watched it.
I went to the movies on Saturday evening by myself
Mm-hmm.
to look at the movie with Gerard Butler. And when I got there, the line was long. So I went back home.
Yeah, it's all about right.
I'm afraid to go movies in it because I can drop sleep.
But
I promise you.
I mean, for me, kind of depends on the movie.
I don't fall to be movies.
I don't fall asleep in movies here, generally.
Yeah, but
When I travel
Oh, yeah, man,
overseas,
yeah, man.
knockout.
but it's like, what is be a spa?
Knocked out. Reclinable chairs out.
Yeah, bye.
Oh, they're so plush.
And they need to come with like blankets and pillows.
And
so-
nice food too.
What,
Yeah,
hey,
they get to serve nice food.
what and what if you're going to one of them that have the massaging chairs?
It's willfulness.
Yeah,
That's what actually paying for him. The amenities.
yeah.
Oh boy.
But before anything else, before buying tickets, before any of that stuff, there, like just the food alone at movie theaters, they don't make you money.
It's true.
Just the food alone.
You just see that line.
They're selling
For
all
food.
cabs, you know. Cabs ain't cars. Nothing.
That line for food before you go in is
Yeah.
just be like longer than the line to get tickets.
And the candy options.
Ridiculous.
Ridiculous.
I just want to go movies because I'm not
On
gonna
the
drop
weekend,
sleep.
man.
I'll be so honest. I will just knock out in that chair.
I'm not afraid then.
Well, I don't know. I didn't Friday. I know Saturday you changed the mind about the movie.
Yeah, Friday I didn't do anything. Saturday I didn't do anything.
If you can't remember the day, that means you ain't do nothing.
Yesterday you were.
Sunday I went to Cooper's for lunch
Oh,
with a friend from Nevis. Brilliant.
that's always good.
Brilliant. And had a Vitamalt. I hadn't had one of those in several months. And
Splurge a bit. Right.
yes, and after that I went to Indulge there in College House in our Taylor's project, however it is. Two totally different places. By Taylor's. They had a brunch over there. And that was the first time I had waffles with grated coconut inside them.
Oh
Oh.
my gosh.
Oh.
Where is this? Where is this? Hello, hi.
By Juan, by Big Daddy,
Huh.
he had an Indulge brunch. Let me tell you I was on the menu, see?
I saw.
And me and I went there after I just finished eating my Coopers, eh? But I wasn't missing it. And they called me and said, "But here, come and buy it." I said, Lord, let me see here. The menu at that event was as follows. Saltfish
You must.
and seasoned breadfruit made by Auntie Donna.
Maybe. Let's go with me.
Chicken wings, stuffed shellfish, and bacon. And at the carving station, there was a roasted suckling pig. For your sides, we had black pudding, fresh garden salad, boiled eggs, coconut waffles, and dinner rolls.
Coconut waffles and dinner
First
rolls.
time I ever had in my life, and it was the best waffle I've ever put in my mouth.
Look,
And on the sweet side, they had bread pudding, fudge, and local drinks.
the thing with waffles, right? Waffles is such an amazing thing, right? Because once you have the batter,
It's just amazing.
there's this place in Brooklyn, right? called Soko.
So I've been there before many times.
Soko?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, the red velvet waffles.
The steak and eggs Benedict though.
Ah,
Love
Boss.
Benedict. But
I
the
used to
red velvet
watch.
waffles-
Let me tell you how much I love this place and how horrible I am. So I used to put on events, right, in New York at this time, and I used to make sure at least once a month I put on an event at Soko,
Soko, mhm.
just so I could get the waffles for free. So yeah, every week, yeah, every month we're going down there and having like, you know, meetups for lawyers and things. No way, not about law. I just facilitating it. While out there talking, whatever they're talking, they said eating
In the back.
waffles.
Oh yeah, but the muffles were amazing. Actually,
My table.
I'll
was
try and
always
get
in the
some
back.
and bring them tomorrow because there were some that were left back.
You know, they got a table. There's like a booth in the backpack.
In the back, yeah.
That was my booth. Cause
The one by the door
to
to go to the outside, yeah.
Because you know that got the booth is like a private booth.
Yes.
I used to go with enough people to always get the booth,
Nice.
but I don't want to go outside
No.
because me want sitting in the sun.
That's ghetto.
No, but
No, it's really
no,
nice outside.
No, you go out there, maybe like October.
Out there is mimosa.
That's
thing
outside
time.
weather in North America.
Yeah.
Outside there is like mimosa time. Like I'll go out there if I'm not eating. If I'm
Right.
just drinking, I'll go out there. But if I eating, I need to be in the back so I could just.
Yeah.
Done.
Especially after you don't eat them buttermilk,
Oh my god.
chicken. Yeah.
That reminds me of when I used to go to a place. I think I mentioned it before, called Happy Sushi in Halifax. Every Sunday there was a sushi buffet, $25 from 10 a.m. until 3 p.m.
Ah,
And Angel Sushi is Asian food.
Asian.
And my friend used to go there at 10 to have breakfast and stay in there and like till after 2 I have lunch.
Just hang out.
Ridiculous.
I used to do that in college.
You go to the buffet places and just lay all there.
Let me all the buy,
I remember one time I went to this buffet. It was a Golden Corral, right? Now, of course, I didn't go to the Golden Corral by choice, but still. So I'm in there, and this guy who obviously has no filter between his hands and his stomach. Everything just enters
You
him.
just eat.
Yeah. And after a while, I saw like the waitresses like looking at him and thing, and the man just kept going and coming back and going and coming back, and then like it was the first time I've seen someone come and tell someone at a buffet that they had to leave.
What?
And the man was like, "You guys said it's all you could eat."
They told him he ate too much.
And then the manager came and was like, "Yes, sir, but you've had all you can eat for $10."
I've never seen that before.
I've never seen that. But the guy was like, he was on a mission to
when
put them out of business
When I used to go to the
single-handedly.
buffets, I used to go to the buffets here and there, and I would ask, you know, I'm gonna ask. Most people sit down there. Oh, how long can we sit to this? I said, I'm gonna ask. So I got up and I asked. I said, how long can we sit here? They said, until we close.
Love it.
So I watch him. I said, you sure? He watched me. Say, you're a college student? I said, mm-hmm. He said, yeah, man. He said, once you pay, you're in, you're in. He said, but if you leave, that's it for you.
Right.
I said, no problem.
And then proceeded
I
to sit
sat
there.
right there.
Yeah, man.
And we just sit down there and we chat. But he said we need to eat. Like we can't just
Yeah,
sit.
they kind of sit
We
and
can't
lime,
just
yeah.
sit and lime. We have to eat.
Mhm.
So
Then the problem.
no problem. Like when we done, like when you done had your full food fix, we'd grab some. Like it was a what do you call it, multicultural buffet. So they had like little sections with themed,
Yes,
the Asian, the Mediterranean, and everything. So we'd grab like a bunch of spring rolls and we sit down there and we just munch on the spring rolls and we chat.
Yeah.
And then we go drink, get some drinks, drink, and then when lunchtime come,
In the magazine.
back again.
in the. Hey, watch it, right? One of the things though, them things that can really work in SK to good.
No.
I know, but they come, they got belly on
You
the
remember?
weeks.
You
No,
remember
not
when?
at all.
You remember when Domino's first came?
And they had the drink machine and the other side of the counter.
Domino's.
And they had to
Domino's
in like
free refills.
3 hours.
Domino's free refills, right? Oh my god, that they last about 4 days.
Domino's nearly went under.
And in the first week,
Because of Coke and Fanta.
hey,
You
you
can't
walking up
tell
Fourth Street, right?
free
And
refills.
people you ain't know offering you like Domino's cups. Yeah, you want a cup back?
Yeah, bye.
Free refills.
Yo, people like it was crazy.
And then you remember what people used to do? People used to save the cups.
that's what
They
telling
used to
you.
Go back,
save
next
the
day.
cups and go back.
That's what boss.
They used to save the cup, go wash it out, and then put it in like in the car. So when they come back, they just refill.
Watch, boss.
What's wrong with these people, man?
That's what telling. But you know, I telling you, there was situations where people are walking up 4th Street, and random people just like, yo, yeah, man, a cup. Let's give you the Domino's cup.
Go in,
Yeah,
go in,
buy
go in
free,
and
yeah.
pick up 10 and get a friend.
So I was like, buy free. Yeah, man.
Bye. And the Marriott buffet to the breakfast
Oh.
over Calypso. People used to go in there with containers in their bag.
Ziploc bags
Crazy.
and containers and
Insane.
then you know the crazy part about it is they'll take home the food and most of it spoil and throw away.
Yeah, because
'Cause they
it's
don't-
breakfast food, like,
But not just that, but they ain't gonna eat it. They're just taking it because it's free, and then they put it in the fridge and they ain't eat it.
Try it on Sunday when they clean up the fridge.
Right. You know, they carry home a bunch of
Right.
pastries, they push the pastries in the fridge, and then a week roll around and the pastries rock hard in the fridge.
that's what like something Jada do.
No, I don't waste food. I like my belly.
No, I'm talking about walking with a container to a buffet.
No, but I never do that. Like, if you said that you can't take away stuff, you just can't take away stuff. Like carambola.
It depends.
I mean, pretty much all buffets.
Our buffet.
Yeah, it's actually pretty standard
It's
across
pretty
the board.
standard across
Okay,
the
well,
board.
the only one that I see that people actually take serious is carambola.
But you know what happened is in the States though, the buffets charge you for what you don't eat.
Right.
So they tell you do not stack up your plate if you're not gonna eat it, because what they do at the end of it, they will take your empty plate, they will throw it in a bin, and
Wait.
they will wait. And based on the weight of what you wasted, you will
Pay
be
extra,
charged
yeah.
additional. So that's why they tell you pace yourself, take out what you're gonna eat only, and it saves them from wasting food too.
And that's why, and that's why in many buffets, like carambola, for example, the plates are small.
Yeah.
In big dinner plates, it's like saucers.
Fit-
And you go on
when it's full,
piece and so on, so that when you're actually full,
there's
then
not
you
much.
don't have much wastage. Yeah.
Mhm. But hey,
But yeah, the rest of them go over there and take up 4 plates.
Nah, man.
right.
In there.
I know what I'm about.
Yeah.
I've known myself for 31 years.
Don't front.
Me fronting. It's telling me really bad.
Cleo says, "How ghetto."
Love it.
But yeah, you don't. I mean, just pace yourself. Honestly, the food right there ain't going nowhere. Just take up what you could eat.
Watch. The truth is, we ain't right now here. The only buffet really that's swinging is carambola buffet. So we ain't really got it.
Thing, well, I
And
would
sushi.
really call that a
sushi.
buffet though.
But sushi.
The
This
one
was.
of the bread, the bread rock, not bread rock, camp.
Oh yeah, comes.
The sushi one?
They had a sushi
They
buffet.
have a sushi
It's once.
buffet.
Yeah.
It's once a month.
It's not
Once a
for
month now,
Friday.
right?
Yeah, but you know what I find interesting about sushi? How surprisingly filling it is.
It is. It's very dense food. It's a very dense.
Yo.
No, it's very dense food. You know.
And I'm just like, yo, what am I packing up with this thing in these seaweed rollers bag?
It's dense food.
But if you're using, but if you're consuming the ones that are having deficiency is it's high in natural fats,
Yeah,
the tuna and the salmon and so on them things. So
but that's the ones I usually have.
But
yeah,
people watch
so that
sushi and
should
people
go.
take out like 600, thinking, oh, these little bite-sized
These little
things.
things,
They're
yeah.
very dense. It got in a bunch of rice.
One
got in
roll,
carrots and avocado and celery sometimes and all that.
But,
Like,
but Jade said it, it's full of rice.
it's full of rice. So people here biting these mini bits of sushi, thinking that, man, I could throw down this, and then in 2-3 bites they're full.
But sushi serious, man.
I judge people that don't like sushi.
Well, you would have been judging me up to about a year ago. Like,
Yeah, I don't judge them because
No,
some people
everybody
end up
try
with some
it.
good things.
I introduced a bunch of friends to sushi. I introduced a bunch of friends to sushi, and the whole
As he judges them.
the whole gripe of it was that they couldn't get past the raw fish thing, and everybody, oh, me want you know raw fish, and it's just like
That was my thing too.
I was
my
weaned onto it. I started
you got to start them small.
with chicken teriyaki sushi,
See,
and then beef teriyaki, and then the California roll, and then the
Yeah.
cooked shrimp.
That's the
that's
problem
kinda what
too.
it is.
Most
I went
people
into
when
the tempura and then
right,
moved from there,
most
and the
people when
salmon.
it comes to sushi and they don't like it, sometimes they go straight to the extremes. Like, you know, they go to the eel rolls and all sorts of stuff. They got in the different textures. You have to start small.
Yeah.
Start with something.
Tuna roll with a
Right.
big slab of raw tuna in the middle. But that feels nasty.
Start small. Start with like a California
I like
or
it though.
something cooked, and
Yeah.
then you know
Yeah,
you
yeah.
work your way towards the.
Yo,
you
As a
try
matter of
other
fact, people
stuff.
don't know that there's sushi with like cooked meat, innit?
Right.
That,
Yeah.
that's,
They
that,
think it
that,
is
was,
waffle.
that was
Yo.
my thing. I didn't
You
know.
ever had a deep fried California
Yes.
with spicy mayo?
Oh my gosh.
Let me tell y'all one time. My first experience with sushi, right?
Okay, for some today.
What? You
Okay, for some, yeah.
This one. But we digress. So I went to
Just suppose you gave me a patty. When you were supposed to give it to me?
I don't know
It's in the
exactly.
conversation.
Anyway, back to the conversation, the important one. I went to Shannon's VIP once when I was working for her years ago, and I was like, oh my God, sushi! I could finally try it.
Where?
Express VIP.
Yeah, it was at the park, and sushi comes with wasabi, right?
Oh,
my God.
Jade.
Oh, okay, well, yeah.
I thought,
Oh, you almost killed yourself?
boy, I thought it was
Watch.
avocado.
A lot of people.
So you just pick
has
up the
this
whole thing
experience.
and
Literally, right? I took up a spoonful
And
because
put
I
it
love
on
avocado. No, I put it on nothing.
Oh no.
I just push it.
That's
to
what I
somebody,
just said.
right?
When you're accustomed to nice things.
Yeah, but
But a lot of people have this experience there.
but the
The
thing is,
wasabi story.
you know wasabi does like shut down your whole body.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's sweating everything come out one time.
That's
Look
right,
here,
guys.
that's the
It
first time I
frees you.
malfunction.
Yeah, it would short circuit your senses. Yeah.
yeah.
I didn't know what, like, I literally just stand up there with the spoon in my mouth because I couldn't do anything.
Yo, it's actually a feeling that you wouldn't experience from anything else.
No.
It's a sensation. It's a ridiculous sensation.
And it burns your brain.
Yeah, it
And
numbs
your
you
nose.
and it's like bad, you know.
Factory reset. I sure I factory reset.
you know what happened too? What most people, what you're actually kind of supposed to do is you're supposed to wipe the wasabi on the roll
Not me.
and dip.
I
But
don't
some
like
people
it.
just mix it into the soy sauce.
Yeah.
But when
yeah,
some people don't
yeah.
mix it properly, you dip it in the soy sauce,
And
and
then
then a
get the
clump
piece.
sticks to the
In your macazimo.
to the roll, and then you throw the roll in your mouth, and you know that wasabi once it hit the roof of your mouth, it's over.
You're gone in.
It's
It's
a
over.
wrap.
It's over.
Once you eat wasabi?
Your whole week gone in.
I remember when I was in university, I had Japanese roommates for a semester, and I was sick. It was in the middle of the winter, couldn't breathe and everything. My boy come with a tuba wasabi paste, and he said, "What's wrong?" I said, "I can't breathe." It's like, and I literally couldn't breathe. My nose was just gone, and then all the mucus had me breathing crazy. He said, "No, okay." He said he squeezed out this long piece. He said, "Put on your tongue, press your tongue to the roof of your mouth." Huh? He said, trust me.
What is a trick?
Let me tell you, as intense as that was, my nose never run so much in my life.
Just get out everything.
Flush, like instant mucus flush.
You breathe like you never breathed before.
Instant mucus flush. And he said, yeah, whenever you can't breathe, and he showed me where he just keep the tube. He said, when you can't breathe, just squeeze a piece, put it on your tongue, press the roof of your mouth, you clears your nose.
There's a nose that there probably is half a brain run out there.
But not just that, me mash up my head. I can't even focus. You see me in class with like one eyeball down, one eyeball up, and my brain hanging out my left side of my nose. Sir.
But you will be breathing perfectly fine.
But then you can tell that it did work. It was very
Probably they'll be
cleansing.
like, oh, this is how we inhale and feel.
Boy, what time is it?
Awesome. It's time for some sushi.
Yeah, I think we're gonna take a break and we're gonna get some sushi and we'll be right back.
We'll be back at 9.
That's all?
Yeah.
We'll be back tomorrow.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
Protect your lifestyle with Caribbean Alliance Insurance. Dealing well with a low reputation and service for second to none. Securing you is our mission. People that you can trust, your business, property, we got you covered. Motor or personal, whatever it is, we got you covered. 130 years in this business, we've got you covered. For all your insurance needs, visit or call us at 465-2631 or 469-5303. Dealey Walwyn, people you can trust. Ain't nothing like the real thing, baby. Ain't nothing like the real thing. No, no. Ain't nothing like the real thing, baby. Ain't nothing like the real thing. No, honey.
Welcome back to Island Tea with your faves. Yeah, listening.
I didn't have it in mind. See me there telling everybody put on the headphones.
Kevin and Raleigh. And we have just been joined in studio by some esteemed
Everybody.
individuals. We have Officer Shiverton Libert, or is it Libert Shiverton?
Yeah, I don't remember. I just never remember the order.
Mother, father, Libert,
Yeah, let's call her Sugarfoot. Officer Donnelly. And some folks here from Public Enemy number 1 department.
I don't have a night. Thank you so much.
Oh Lord, all kind of things happening.
Yeah, we should.
Here. No. Give her that one there.
Thank you.
Right.
Mike Shuffle.
So
Yes.
who wants to introduce themselves first? I don't know.
Just let me know when I can start abusing.
Good morning to the person out in Radio Land. Good morning to
What
our
was it? Yeah.
valued listener. And as usual, we have to start with a word of prayer. Heavenly Father, hear our prayer. We want to thank you, dear God, for today. We want to thank you, dear God, for your love. And we want to thank you for your blessings. We know, dear God, it's not because of anything that we would have done while we are here, but because you love us so much. And so we want to thank you, dear God, for the persons who are here this morning. Whatever it is that we say this morning, dear God, may just fall not on deaf ears, but persons must adhere to the regulations that are governing this beautiful island. Bless the host, dear God, this morning. Guide and guard their tongue. These mercies we ask in your name. Another name. Amen.
Amen.
You ready?
I'm always ready. This morning we have Mr. George Gilbert in the studio with us, and we always welcome Mr. Gilbert, because we know when Mr. Gilbert is here, he always has information that is useful to us as road users. There was a young lady in the studio with us. I came in and I said good morning, but I didn't ask her name, so I would ask her to introduce herself. Mr. Gilbert is not new to the studio, so we'll ask the young lady to introduce herself.
Good morning. Good morning. My name is Cher Claxton. I work with Surrey Paving, and I'm their quality engineer.
Welcome.
Thank you.
And Mr. Gilbert brought her as a sacrificial lamb.
Yes.
Indeed.
to share the abusing.
He's hitting on a microphone. He's happy, yo.
Well, since that Miss Claxton is new to the studio, with the traffic talk, we listen to what they have to offer this morning. Mr. Gilbert, Miss Claxton.
Thank you very much. A pleasant good morning to my colleagues, my esteemed colleagues here.
Yeah, but you can put it to you.
A pleasant good morning to my esteemed colleagues, and also to those in Radio Land and other platform who are listening or viewing us this morning. I hope you had a pleasant weekend and we are ready to face this new week. Now we are here this morning on Traffic Talk, and it's a pleasure to be here. It's a pleasure to update the public of what is happening. And after we leave here, normally we bombarded with a number of calls and concerns and even congratulatory messages, which we appreciate. What we are concentrating on this week and for the next few weeks is the Wellington Road, Keyon Street area. That is from the airport roundabout to Camps roundabout. That's the roundabout just before Ram Supermarket, going into Camps there. That's corridor there. In that corridor, we have at least 5 contractors working there. We have the main contractor, which is Surrey Paving, who is actually taking up the asphaltic surface and also part of the base material and replacing it. We have Skelec, who are removing poles, relocating poles, and also we have The Cable, who are actually installing ducts on the roadway, underground. We have also Flo, who is actually working in the corridor too, and Water Department, who you would have seen coming down from the airport roundabout coming into Bastille. So we have a number of activities taking place. We have another contractor, Prime Construction, who will be doing the sidewalks in the Wellington Road area coming through. So he's doing some survey as we speak to get into Bastille. So there's a number of activities happening into Bastille. One of the first things I want to say to the road users, if you don't have to use Keon Street, Wellington Road, please use the F.T. Williams Highway or the Bay Road to get around that street. To those who park on Keon Street, Wellington Road, anywhere along that corridor there during the day, we ask you to actually try to avoid parking on those streets because we want to have a free access of the road. I came here some time ago and I promise you that we'll try to get through that corridor as quickly as possible. But it's for you to work with us so that we have a free movement of traffic so we can get through that corridor as quickly as possible with very little interruption. With me this morning I have Shea Claxton, engineer from Surrey Paving, from the main contractor point. And she will be giving us some update on where they are and what they will be doing for this week and next week, so at least the public can be aware and work with us so that we can have a free flow of the traffic. So her main concern today will be the traffic management issue in that corridor there. So I'll turn over to Ms. Claxton.
Okay, good morning again. As Mr. Gilbert said, my job here today is to inform the public on the traffic management plan that we have in place while working along the corridor from the Camps roundabout to the RLB Airport roundabout. So in order to get the work done quickly and with as little traffic interruptions, we have the corridor separated into 8 work sections. And I'll go through those sections with you, and I'll also give proposed timelines that we'll be working in each section. And this will kind of give the road users a head start in planning their journey. So they know where to avoid, where they can go while we do the work throughout the area. So the first section, which is where we're currently working, that's from Camps Roundabout to Springfield Cemetery. We actually started working in that area sometime last week. We're almost finished. But the timeline for that, the proposed timeline, October 14th to the 28th. The second section will be from Springfield Cemetery to Westbourne Street. The proposed timeline, October 24th to October 31st. The third section, Westbourne Street to College Street. The proposed timeline for that section, November 9th to November 14th. The fourth section, College Street to 4th Street. Timeline, November 14th to November 21st. The fifth section, 4th Street to Baker's Corner, November 21st to November 28th. The sixth section, RLB roundabout to the Public Works Garage, that's the Vehicle Maintenance Department, right after Skellig, from November 2nd to November 7th. From the Public Works Garage to Edward Lane, November 28th to December 5th. From Edward Lane, this is the 8th section now, Edward Lane to Baker's Corner, December 5th to December 12th. So as we can see from the timeline, we'll be working down to December, which is kind of the height of the Christmas season, a lot of activity.
Yeah, mid-December.
Right. So we have these timelines to get the work done as quickly as possible so as to avoid or to not interrupt the traffic too much, to not interrupt the businesses and their customers. And I'm also hoping that prior to the work in each section, Mr. Gilbert will organize media releases to update the public on where we're working and where we're going to next. Okay, for each section that we'll be working along, we have proposed diversions that the traffic department has already agreed to, so as to provide some relief to the road users so they know where to go when the road is blocked off. So I'll go through those diversions with you for each section. For section 1, which is Camps Roundabout to Springfield Cemetery, if you're traveling eastward, and when I say eastward, you're traveling to Bastille from the Camps end. If you're traveling eastward, you can take diversion onto the F.T. Williams Highway at Camps Roundabout, and then you get back onto Keon Street via the Greenlands Roundabout or the St. Peter's Roundabout, onto Orchard Street, which is the street with the big tamarind tree. Or you can drive onto Flamboyant Drive, come down onto Flamboyant Drive, which is a street adjacent Westbourne Street. If you're traveling westward, that is towards Bastille from the Baker's Corner end, then you can take Orchard Street off Flamboyant Drive onto the F.T. Williams Highway, drive around and come back down to the Camps Roundabout. For the second section, which is Springfield Cemetery to Westbourne Street, if you're traveling eastward, you can take Orchard Street, that's the street with the big tamarind tree, and you drive around Greenlands, come back down onto Flamboyant Drive, which is again the street adjacent Westbourne Street. If you're traveling westward, then you can go up onto Flamboyant Drive, drive through Greenlands and come back down Orchard Street, the street with the big tamarind tree. For section 3, which again is Westbourne Street to College Street, traveling eastward into town, you can turn down Westbourne Street onto Central Street, make your way through the city center and then back up to Keon Street. If you're traveling westward, you can turn down onto College Street, onto Central Street, and then you can get back onto Keon Street via one of those small streets such as Fines Avenue or Thibault Avenue. For section 4, College Street to 4th Street, if you're traveling eastward, you can turn down onto College Street, onto Central Street, right onto Church Street since you cannot travel straight across Central Street, across Liverpool Road to get onto 4th Street. If you're traveling westward, you can turn down West Independence Square Street, find your way along Bank Street up to 4th Street, or you can drive straight along Liverpool Road and then get onto Central Street. For section 5, which is 4th Street to Baker's Corner, if you're traveling eastward, you can turn down onto Church Street, find your way around the work area back up to Baker's Corner. If you're traveling westward, vehicles would be directed toward Pond Road. So from Pond Road, you can either drive down onto the Bay Road, drive through the city center, find your way back up to Keon Street. For section 5, section 6, sorry.
Listening.
For section 6, the RLB roundabouts to Public Works Garage. Vehicle users or road users can take either of the bypass roads or the highways, F.T. Williams Highway or the Kim Collins Highway, to find their way around the work zone. And that's if you're traveling eastward or westward. The highways are available. The same applies to section 7, which is from Public Works Garage to Edward Lane. For the last section, which is Edward Lane to Baker's Corner, at the Baker's Corner end, again, the traffic will be directed across Pond Road, and you can take Dickinson Street, which is the street with the Seventh-day Adventist School, to get back onto Wellington Road. And those are the proposed diversions while we're working in the different areas.
So basically between now and December, when 12th?
The 12th.
Don't go tongue.
Basically.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Yeah.
That's what I got on that.
If you want to avoid all of the traffic diversions, especially if you're not familiar with the small streets, then it's best to just avoid driving in town.
Yes,
I mean, it works out better
man.
for the environment anyway.
Yeah, man, go on your banking app and add your bill people as your pays. Scale like everybody else, so stay at home, pay bills, and stay on the bypass roads.
I'll just walk it.
Yeah,
yes.
Walk into town.
Yeah, let's park up on Victoria Road and take a stroll.
I think
mainly that though.
For these sections where we will be diverting traffic onto Central Street, I think Public Works will be providing, or they're considering providing, an alternative parking area. I don't know if Mr. Gilbert can tell us more about that.
We are proposing to for parking to be down by the Dickinson Street on the opposite side of the playfield. You know, there's a green area there with a berm. On the opposite side, on the eastern side of Newtown Playfield. Mm-hmm. Where we are proposing to park on that area there. I suppose to make some contact with the park and beaches, so some cutting, and then they will park there.
Okay, apparently we have a caller. Caller, welcome. Good morning.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you for publishing the diversions, but Public Works forget how to work at night.
Bye. Listen, you ask them.
They have work at night before. Why is it that they have to work during the day when everybody is busy and occupied? When they have the whole street for themselves, at night the production will be better. You go to the United States, in the morning you wake up, brand new road. What is happening to us? Have a good day.
Oh, okay. Short and sweet.
And food for thought from Mr. Gilbert.
Yes, Mr. Gilbert. That was actually going to be my first question when you finish presenting as well. I mean, you know, I believe most of us here have been to other territories where woodworkers are at night. Even locally, when work is being done to our airport runway, it happens at night because obviously planes have to land in the morning. So what are your thoughts on our public works stance on doing woodwork in the evening under heavy lighting, so that when we wake up in the morning we have a brand new road we didn't even see it yesterday?
That's a consideration which we are looking at, I must say to you. And also, for us to finish in a timely manner, we kind of consider to do some of that.
To do both?
Yes. To
work in the day and in the night?
In the day and in the night.
Okay. And plus it's better for the workmen as well and workwomen because it's a cool environment. No sun beating on the back of the neck.
And safer.
And get more.
And it's safer, there's less traffic. It's a win-win for everybody.
No, it's a little more costly to the end user.
For real?
Yes.
Costly
more
to who?
work in the night.
Oh, you're talking about wages and so?
Yes, wages.
Oh, well, let's pay it. Timothy Harris said we have surplus after surplus after surplus. As he made him say so?
Yes, I did. But not only that, I mean, I guess the hope would be that you may be able to cut back on that by being able to complete it in a quicker time as well. So, you know, these are things that people smarter than me, but hey.
Yeah.
That's not an option as well, you know,
We'll figure it out.
paying more wages for a shorter time might work out to be less, if you pay a regular wage over a longer period of time.
It's a consideration.
Yeah.
It's a consideration.
So you all have to go work the numbers. I don't.
So you're saying paying people to work at night costs more than paying people to work in the day?
Yes.
Interesting. When people think it's one working up, so.
Somebody we can go work somewhere.
Are you paying in the night? For what they charge people to work in the day? Send them home.
Me and Amali will do it for you.
Okay. So we have Ms. Shiverton.
Yeah.
Suddenly you ready for me?
We're talking about
I have a question. I have to argue.
You
don't have to argue. I'm ready for you, and I'm waiting for my moment. But
And this is my show, so I would speak.
This is your segment.
This is my segment. I apologize.
Oh.
We still want to adhere to the general public where the road is concerned on a Saturday morning. Every Monday morning I come here and I have the same complaint.
That people going around the side.
Persons are not adhering. Persons need to understand the signage are put in place by the licensing authority for persons to adhere to. If everybody is going to do what they want, how they want, when they want, what is the purpose of the licensing authority? Drop-offs. I had a radio program on ZIZ last Wednesday, and I spoke about one of the topics I spoke about was the drop-off. Persons are not making the proper use of drop-off. Drop-offs are not personal spaces. I must let the general public know. Drop-off does not belong to a bakery or a supermarket. Drop-off is drop-off for
Public
anybody
use.
who has something to drop off. For example, Amali, there is a drop-off on 4th Street. If you want to go to the bank with a box to make a drop, you can park, do your drop, and come back.
And to clarify, the car can be left unoccupied while the drop-off is being made.
With the engine off.
Because some people think that you have to leave it running or somebody has
No.
to stay in there.
But leaving the engine running is an offense here again by itself. You're not supposed to quitting your
Idle.
vehicle while the engine is in motion. That's a ticketable offense. And so I just want to let the general public know, while you're using a drop-off, it is not a half an hour parking space for you to go and pay your bills into town. It's not a half an hour space for you to go to the barber shop.
Because people just do it. No, I know one that people just do it in a lot.
It's a drop off. There's a drop off on Church Street that is normally used by the bakery. And persons are complaining that the bakery persons are using it as a personal
parking spot.
Right. And when person goes there to make a drop, there's always
someone in there.
Right. And so we're asking persons just to be fair to everybody, and just first to know that the drop off is not a personal spot. Any drop off anyway, it's not a personal spot. You go, you drop off, and you give someone else a chance to drop off. Do not live in the drop off. Persons consider the police harassing them. Consider the police harassing them if they're in a drop off and the police come down and say, you've been there for 15, 20 minutes. You call and you say, James Brown, you're the owner of P1010? Yes. Where are you parked now? In the drop off. How long have you been there? Oh, half an hour. I got caught up in the bank. Could you come and move your vehicle? Oh, I always harassing people. Now, if you do not want the police to harass you, for want of a better word, just comply. Do the correct thing. If I don't want anybody to talk in my face, I just do what I have to do. I'll take the call.
Caller, welcome. Good morning.
Hi, Donnelly. The statement that was made earlier concerning it costs more to work at night. I don't know if they change the labor laws somewhat, but I know that Donnelly don't get paid more if she work at night or day. And so if Donnelly is put on notice, whoever that person is, they have agreed to work on a shift system, so that person will get themselves ready to work in the night. So it should not cost any company, any organization more money to work at night. I'm not aware of that. On the other hand, the signage down at the terminal, they are strange signage. They are not ones that are very well accustomed to. So to give direction with those signs, people maybe sometimes wondering if it's a construction sign or a police sign. Now, the thing is, why not try, Donnelly, a customary police sign at those locations and remove those other signs that will be occupying the space during construction period? Thank you very much, Donnelly. Have a good day.
Thank you very much, caller. And let us. Well, I guess Mr. Gilbert would touch the casty for the evening. But where the signage? Thank you very much for that call, caller. The signage that we're speaking to, there are licensing. There are signs that are placed by the licensing authority. There are signs that says no entry. They're international signs, and if you cannot see a sign, a horse, as we normally call, orange and white, with word that says no entry, then they should take away your license, because the sign you cannot. It doesn't matter how far you are, what distance you are. The sign is white there. As a matter of fact, the color of the sign is, what do you call it, fluorescent?
Fluorescent, yeah.
Fluorescent. So it's evening, daytime. You can see the sign. We'll take the call.
Caller, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Firstly, Mr. Gilbert, sir, on the subject of the roadworks, is it possible that in coordination with the traffic department that you can extend your information beyond means like these with regards to diversions? Because there are thousands of road users at the moment on the road and in other jobs who are not listening to the station, but who not have heard about these diversions. And so could we, rather than having come upon a series of cones and have to figure out which the road diversions are, have signs clearly indicating where the diversions go? We must remember that in 2020, many of the people using the road in St. Kitts are not so-called locals. Secondly, with regard to the night issue, when we were having major roadworks 25 years ago in the 90s, guess what? Much of the work was done at night on the floodlamps. I'm sure we could have figured out how to do it again 25 years later. Thirdly, before the roadworks were done, your persons came around offering to do inspections of homes, of properties to see if there were existing cracks, just in case any developed after the road work is done. Two very capable ladies visited my home, but there were two things that surprised me. One, they took a report. I think I remember having to sign the report to say I agreed with what they wrote down. But then, of course, I don't have a copy of it. I was told I would have to apply to the Public Works Department to get a copy. That should not be so. When you take information from me and ask me to sign it, I should, without having to ask, get a copy so I have evidence of what I gave you. Not that the evidence is in your possession and I then have to ask you to give me a copy of it. And on that report, I was astonished at something. I noticed that the measurements they did of the lengths of things were in imperial measure, feet and inches, and the width of things, that is the width of a crack, was in millimeters. And when I asked, why are you using two different measurements, I was told that the calipers that they had are in millimeters. So that to be as if the fine officer there tells me that I was going 20 miles an hour over the speed limit, but I stopped 15 meters beyond the red line. That's rather confusing. So could I encourage you to get your officers either all metric or all imperial measures? And with regards to the officer and her sign, those no-entry horses, as you call them, they are not adequate. The word no entry cannot be read at a reasonable distance from the sign itself. We all know that we see an obstruction in the road. But the words no entry relative to the sign itself or relative to any road sign around the place is quite small. And so I would suggest that either you get a bigger no entry, put a round no entry sign on that thing or whatever it is, but those horses merely represent obstructions to the average road user. It's only when you actually get right up to it and you read the words no entry. And I assure you, I had my annual eye exam rather recently. Thank you very much, gentlemen and ladies. May you have a productive and hard-working week.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you for your call. The no entry sign, even if you cannot see the word says no entry, you said it yourself. It's an obstruction. It's a diversion. Because if you're traveling, coming from the Cenotaph on the Bay Road, and you see an obstruction, the sign is on the left side, and we drive on the left. And if you have to come around the sign, it means that you're coming on the wrong side of the road. So I would like for you to explain to me, how can you be in your right? How can it be that the sign for the police, the sign that the police has in place, is not correctly placed, or because you can't see the no entry sign, that you're supposed to drive on the wrong side of the road?
Well, Donnelly, in all honesty, I think that's something that happens regularly, especially when there's road construction, where there's an obstruction in the road and then you're expected to actually cross over to pass. For instance, I was driving down that long stretch, Borio. There was some road construction happening where they did something to the fire hydrants or whatever. So, and there were cones in the road by the so you would have to pass on the wrong side of the road to go down and continue on your way. So I think perhaps the suggestion of like making it clear that it's a no entry might have some value to it.
As in, like I've been to places and so on, and as opposed to no entry sign, there would be a sign that's with an arrow that says must turn left.
Detour with the arrow.
Detour
with the arrow.
Yes, I agree. I agree, but
with lights and on it too.
Our signs are temporary,
mm-hmm.
and I am not making any. I'm not making any excuses for the police, but persons in St. Kitts just do not adhere to signs. It doesn't matter.
Which is true. Yeah.
It doesn't matter how you turn it, what you put, where you put it, how you say it, how you do it. They just do not adhere to
They
signs.
stick it on the glass and they look under it and continue.
We have a call.
And you are correct.
Caller, let's take this last call for this segment. Caller, welcome. Good morning.
Good morning. The caller before mentioned something about these signs. I think the problem with these signs, the officer there is saying about seeing these signs. I strongly think that those signs, they need to be repainted. It's not a matter that you don't see the sign, but you cannot, everybody eyesight is not the same. You cannot see the no entry sign, yes, and also the signs need to be highlighted. They just need upgrading in terms of the colors and everything. The colors is too fade away. They can't really see them from a distance. But yes, as you get closer, you will recognize it, yes. But I think those signs need to be repainted that you can see from a much far distance. So that's the problem I think with the signs. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much, Carla.
Thank you, Carla. Every week we come on the program and we speak about signage. And so when I leave the radio program, I always try my best to, whenever Carla calls in about a particular on the program about anything that's an obstruction that would make the police look not so good, we would always try our best. Well, from my end, to make sure that when I come back on the program the next time, that something is being done. And so my task for the week would be to make sure that when I come on the program next Monday, that I would be able to bring some better information which concerns the Bay Road, where signage is concerned. So that would be my task for the week. Persons, please still be aware that the signage is there, and so you are to adhere to the sign. It doesn't matter where signs are, not only the Bay Road. We're talking about signs generally, because of the road works that is going on, or because persons would write to the traffic department or the licensing authority for them to have a function, signs will be placed. And so when you see a sign, please act in accordance to the signs. Thank you so much.
Any final words, Mr.
Yes,
Gilbert?
I have a question though.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Okay, Donnelly, ignore me because she knew I was going to ask the question. We can come back to this on Monday, but I just want to ask now so I can gain some understanding. Is it correct or legal to stop in a roundabout?
No.
Okay, my problem is many bus drivers stop in roundabouts to let off passengers, causing the circulating traffic in what is supposed to be an ever-flowing roundabout to stop. And stopping in a roundabout, the other day I had to stop mash brakes behind a bus driver who stopped in the roundabout by the airport. They stopped in between the yield, the entrance and the exit. They stopped to let off passengers, so I had to mash brakes behind them, and someone had to mash brakes behind me. And if that person had hit me, I would have hit the bus driver, and there would have been a three vehicle accident or more.
And you would have got wrong too.
And I would have been wrong. So what is there going to be some sort of effort or initiative to ticket individuals who stop in roundabouts?
Kevin, we have been talking about roundabouts forever. We come to the program and we speak about roundabout. We speak about stopping in the roundabout. We speak about getting the roundabouts marked. We speak about getting a video. We speak about so many things, using the roundabout, the correct lanes. And so we are still not getting it right. And I could speak to this morning, I could speak to yesterday, persons with the use of the roundabout, and persons still. And for the general public, and I would say this to my daughter every time she's leaving home, when you're traveling around about, whether or not you have the right of way, and I would say this to the general public, whether or not you have the right of way, always look, because the other person behind of you or in front of you, you never know what turn they're going to do. So always make sure. Sometimes we're in the right, sometimes we have to give up our rights just to make sure that the traffic is done the way it is supposed to be. Because persons and some persons are ignorant to the fact that they're wrong and they want to curse at you and operate as if like you are wrong. And so sometimes have a word with somebody. Sometimes persons, and I would say persons would leave home angry, some person would leave home not in a good mood, and so every little thing they would fly off for the hook. And so we have to be mindful and be cautious. But Mr. Harmony and I would have spoken about some work that we'll be doing when it comes to the roundabout, and that is a project that we're working on so that we can make things better for everybody with the use of the roundabout. And Kevin, like you said, next week we can always speak about, again, about the proper use of a roundabout. And you're correct, stopping in a roundabout is an offense, but we can't have police everywhere.
I know that.
You understand? We can, and then too, not taking the police off the hook. Some of us would see offenses and don't say anything. And that is the reason why offenses would get big. Because if you see a bus driver stop in a roundabout, you might be in your personal vehicle, okay, you can't stop at that time. But go find him, get the number, have a conversation. I saw it this morning and you stop in a roundabout, or I saw it this morning, put off a passenger or whatever. Have a conversation so that person would know somebody was watching, somebody's looking at me, and I need to do better.
But it would fix all those problems though?
What?
If we had designated bus stops, but that's a whole different story.
Yes, we have designated bus stops, but persons are just lawless.
Yeah, but is it against the law for a bus driver to stop outside the bus stop? It's not. So then we have a bus stop.
This is why we need amended laws. But hey,
you know what? Just give me the traffic laws and let's work on it. And we'll give you back a proposed amendment to the laws, and then you all can put it in Parliament and do all I got one thing. And then pass it.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
You want to thank the General Public for being a part of our show this morning.
Mr. Gilbert, that he ain't public enemy number one anymore.
Mr. Gilbert, you have any final comments? Ms. Claxton?
I would just like to ask the public to comply with all of the diversions that we would put in place while we're working in different areas. Comply with the instructions from the flag personnel, the traffic personnel that we would have at the diversions. And one caller asked about having signage along diversion routes. In a meeting that we had with the Commissioner of Police, he had agreed to placing signage along the diversion routes already. So hopefully he would stick to that. Mm-hmm. So anyone who is unfamiliar with the side roads, then they would have a bit of assistance.
All right.
Final word. I know people and the public is asking about the night walk. We're going to have that discussion when I come back here, which is hopefully next week. I'll be back.
You coming back?
Hopefully.
We're back broadband.
Yeah. Nothing for punishment.
I thought it was the last show.
Nothing for punishment back.
We'll have the discussion next week. I must say, on Friday, I was on Keon Street, where the road work was going on. I had on my illuminating vest, and traffic was just speeding in the corridor there. I'm urging road users, and especially passenger buses, to actually be mindful that the road is a construction site at the moment. From Camps Roundabout right up to the airport roundabout, it's a construction site, and it's to the heart of Bastille. So I'm asking you to exercise caution and take your time if you have to use the road there. If not, use some other side road to get around.
Hopefully by next week, Monday.
Yeah. Is speeding in a construction zone a ticketable offense?
Speeding anyway is a ticketable offense.
Is a ticketable offense.
I just wanted to ask the obvious. So you're wrong twice. Okay.
Thank you for having us today.
Donnelly. I don't abuse Donnelly. Me and Donnelly have a wonderful friendship.
Yes, indeed.
That is true.
Yes, indeed. Anyway, we'll pause for calls here on Island Tea, and we'll be right back.
Thank you very much.
Be careful on the road. Don't make it an episode. Attention all drivers, I'm begging you to slow it down, slow it down, slow it down, down. Too many stunt drivers on the road, man. With the fire day, driver, what's your emergency? It's better late than never, so why all the hurry? Speeding is the main cause of plenty mishaps. The road is now a racetrack, threatening life and property, and all the result of that led to death and injury. Inconsiderate driving, this nonsense need to stop.
Protect your lifestyle with Caribbean Alliance Insurance. Till you walk with a low reputation and service for second to none. Securing you is our mission. People that you can trust, your business, property, we got you covered. Motor or personal, whatever it is, we got you covered. 130 years in this business, we've got you covered. For all your insurance needs, visit or call us at 465-2631 or 469-5303. Delia Walwyn, people you can trust.
Maybe it's the way the brilliant gold liquid reflects our sunshine, or how the bright blue of its label mirrors the clear Caribbean skies overhead. Maybe it's the fresh, crisp taste of this beastly cold beer on a scorching hot day. Maybe it's even the way it brings us all together. But one thing is for sure, Carib is very much a part of who we are wherever we're from in the Caribbean. Carib, it's the way we play. Drink responsibly.
Make your house a dream home with a Horseman's Reno loan. Yes, come to Horseman's today and ask about our home renovation loans of up to $35,000 unsecured. Yes, home renovation loans for as much as $35,000 unsecured over 4 years plus no money down. Yes, you pay zero money down on your loan, up to $35,000 home reno loan at Horseman. So come, let's make your house a dream home with a zero down payment Horseman's Reno loan today. See store for details. Terms and conditions apply.
Answer that phone. She gotta be there. All the clubs are closed.
Who is this?
Hey, baby, this is me.
Don't you know what time it is?
Well, I want to.
I have to get up in the morning and go to work. Call me back tomorrow night.
Damn, it's cold.
I feel like I wanna talk a while. I wanna visit all right. Let me sing my song. Check me out. Life is so amazing. Funny how time brings about change. And just to think that you swore you loved me, baby. Now you're giving that thing to another man. I don't understand it, girl. To break my heart, to break my heart. Must have feel me up if you let me down. Never to say baby. To break my heart. Oh, you hurt me, girl. Baby, feel like I'm gonna put you down. Even though that you're not around. Please let me explain myself. Even in the daytime, some things should never change. They always do. And I don't even go around with the latest dances, but I think true love still remains the same. Looking back on my yesterday, true love didn't go that way. I can remember well now. Once you said you love somebody, what is it? That vow you couldn't dare to break. I don't understand what you done, honey. To break my heart, to break my heart.
Welcome back to Island Tea with your faves, Kevin and Amali. Did they talk after music?
You understand that,
Right. Anyway, so we're now gonna thanks.
Bobby Mama wants to know.
We see
how
the
could you break my
questions on the
heart?
live, and we're gonna try to ask them They came through when we were ending the program, the segment. So we're gonna ask them next week when the Traffic Talk team returns. But let's talk some tea time. So first up on the agenda, of course, St. Kitts news. So a prominent St. Kitts and Nevis attorney is calling for an end to the death penalty. The abolition of the death penalty in St. Kitts and Nevis and the wider Caribbean region was the topic of Win FM's radio program Voices on Thursday, October 22nd, 2020, where Mrs. Angelina Gracie Sukubab and Mr. Chelsea Hamilton, attorneys at law, weighed in on the very sensitive topic. Mrs. Sukubab, a skilled attorney in human rights advocacy litigation, who described the death penalty as something that has legal, political, and economic, and even religious views on the far divide. She said that the death penalty is not only archaic, but it is something that should be abolished. It is something that, while our colonial masters handed down to us in our constitution.
Yep.
Oh, I'm so glad she said that.
That is my point too.
They have abolished it a long time ago, and they condemn us for maintaining the death penalty. We have it on our books. We don't necessarily enforce it, which is a good thing, but the point is that it is there in the Constitution of St. Kitts and Nevis. Once you are being tried for the crimes of murder or treason, the death penalty on the books suggests that it is mandatory. Sukubab is St. Kitts and Nevis's country representative in a pro bono capacity for the 3-year 2018 to 2021, building a platform for abolition, strengthening the anti-death penalty movement in Barbados and the Eastern Caribbean. Project funded by the European Union. She told Win FM, the courts have found ways through the advocacy of attorneys like Mr. Chelsea Hamilton to not implement it automatically, but it is still what the Constitution requires. And that's the thing, it's the Constitution is literally telling you to do it, but you just have to find ways
is it the Constitution or the law? I know it's on our law books, right? But I do believe that there's a section of the Constitution that maintains that that speaks to punishment, and punishment should not be inhumane. However, the point that is made that we really don't use it, it's just on the books. The problem I have with that is that it just takes some government or some judge or some pressure from some activist group, political group, religious group, to then determine we want to make an example, and then all of a sudden we hanging people again. Right. It's kind of ridiculous. I do believe that the arguments that are made a lot of times against the death penalty are short-sighted, and so that's why we don't get anywhere. It's usually we don't hold the state to to the same standard we hold its citizens. If we don't expect citizens to be going around killing people, we shouldn't expect the government to be killing people too. But that is
my argument against the death penalty is simply that our legal system, as is any of the legal systems across the world, are flawed and mistakes are made. And do you know many people have been serving life sentences, are on death row, and
then proven
as a result of some miraculous miracle by some legal team, they're able to prove that the person was innocent all this time.
Sometimes it's just an improvement in technology.
Exactly. I know of people who released from prison after 40, 50 years.
Yeah.
Right?
Because
and
somebody was on the deathbed and felt guilty.
Exactly my point. And what would the state say to my family if my brother or my sister were to be hung or electrocuted, and then a year after I was to find out that witnesses gave false testimony? Well, then tell me.
Yeah.
That is my sole argument for
and we see it happening.
The death penalty.
We see it
happening. Let them sit down in there until something happens.
We see it happening for centuries. These accused sentences. Being accused for something you didn't do, you get sentenced, and then later down the line on somebody's deathbed they say actually the person didn't do it.
But you see, that's the issue. The issue with that argument is that argument works against the mandatory death sentence. Where basically mandatory death sentence is once you commit the crime
This
of
crime,
murder,
you're gonna then-
murder, then the
Mhm.
sentence is death, right? Because that doesn't take into account the severity or the nature of the murder or the circumstances behind the person's position, the murderer's position. I don't think so. That argument usually comes up when we speak about mandatory death sentence, because then if it's not the mandatory death sentence, then the argument for that is, okay, so we'll just hang people who we sure about. Right?
But my argument is that you can never be sure.
No, you could be sure. There's some things like, for instance, like surveillance video and stuff like that. However,
I guess
it does.
And confessions though.
And confessions.
Why you me do it for
Right.
I was vexed.
Right, exactly. So there are some situations where that argument does not hold up.
Yeah, me and K, what are one of the situations there, personally?
But you see, that's the thing. So
Personally.
maybe your
I'm
argument is
sentence.
against the
I'm against
mandatory
mandatory
death
death sentence, yeah.
So you're against the mandatory
That
death
is correct,
sentence,
yes.
but not the death sentence.
Yeah.
But I think we've already eliminated mandatory death sentences here in St. Kitts.
In St. Kitts?
Mm-hmm. It's not. We don't have a mandatory death sentence. I don't think so. No.
Well,
the death sentence is on the books, but it's not mandatory.
Let me double check the article and see what it says. If there's any mention of a mandatory.
So what laws were amended at least once in time? That's good to know by.
Oh, it happens? But good morning, caller. You're live.
We lost the caller.
You're no longer live.
Here is it. Mr. Sukubab said, we have it on our books. We don't necessarily enforce it, which is a good thing. But the point is that it is there, and the Constitution of St. Kitts and Nevis says that once you are being tried for the crimes of murder or treason, the death penalty on the books suggests that it is mandatory.
Oh, so
they didn't change it.
So it's mandatory. Yeah, see, I got issue with that.
Big issue. Big issue.
But we have another call. Caller, good morning.
Caller, welcome.
Hi, fellas. You reach far. But there are people who sitting in there and can't even get a trial. Every new attorney general say, we're going to clear up the court. Every new prosecutor, we're going to clear up the court. But it's still clogged up. What is wrong with the system? People waiting for hearing for such a long time and can't hear it. This is not working.
Mm-hmm.
That is injustice.
Mm-hmm.
Justice delayed is justice denied.
Mm-hmm.
This is poor.
Yeah.
When can this fix? And they're getting paid. Everybody getting paid. Everybody going home with a salary every week. There are people who are not getting paid at all. So where is not being fixed? Don't ask questions. Somebody going to get mad.
Thank you very much. Part of the reason why the courts are backed up is because we don't have any stenographers.
Yeah, that's part of it.
Can you imagine? Because I've been to court quite a few times for traffic incidents. Take I wait. But I'm behaving these days though. Right? And can you imagine I am in court giving my testimony as to what happened on the particular day with regard to the traffic incident? And I have to pause every 5 words for the magistrate to write down what I said?
Yes.
It is an excruciatingly painful process.
Yeah.
Okay, then I say, okay, go ahead. So I was driving east on Kearn Street, and then wait. Driving east on Kearn Street. What happened after that?
Your train of thought done gone in.
Yeah,
I took a left at Baker's Corner, and then while I was took a left.
Yeah, I wouldn't be able to cope because you're breaking my train of thought, and I might be omitting.
We also probably need more judges though for some of these things.
But even that simple issue there, right, can speed up the process so much.
Yeah.
Because if you're allowed to just have a free conversation in the courtroom, you're in and out.
Yep.
Especially with traffic, you're in and out.
Yep.
I had to be in there for 200 hours because they got to wait down everything I say, and then they read it back to you to make sure that I say, this is a waste of my time, man. So many things in St. Kitts and Nevis are cake.
But you know what? I keep wondering about this. Forget stenographers, Amali. We have the ability to record things now.
Oh my gosh, is that an option? Oh my gosh.
We could record things, We don't have to write everything down in shorthand.
As in we could record things 20 years ago?
Imagine that.
We could have recorded things actually 50 years ago.
What are you saying?
when you go into a deposition with federal agents, they record the conversation.
Oh, you've been in many of those too?
And then,
You've
they
lived
replay,
life, so.
they replay the conversation and the conversation, because text doesn't show tone.
Text doesn't show tone. It's just things like sarcasm and stuff is lost in translation.
Right.
Yeah.
And, even
crazy.
Even the emotional breaks and pauses, you can't translate that to text.
But we're in the courtroom writing down with a pencil and a paper. Every word that Azim said. Every single word that he says. And not somebody who hired for that, the magistrate, him or herself,
yes.
Is writing down everything that everybody says word for word. Outrageous.
Yeah.
But in 2020.
Yeah. But to get back to the death penalty, it's interesting. It's one of those arguments that people tend to fall. There's not really a lot of middle ground here. I think most people are against the mandatory death penalty.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, no matter what the circumstances are, we could kill you. So yeah, that's generally people aim for that. So that's normally, but the fact is, because we don't really enforce it, right? I think that in itself speaks to the fact that we understand somewhere that we shouldn't just be killing people. Right?
Mm-hmm.
For some reason, whatever the reason is you want to come up with. But like I said, the fact that it's on the books, I think it opens up this kind of worms where, like I said, governments, through pressure from whatever type of group, could determine that to make an example that you are going to die. Not necessarily simply because of the merits of the crime, but because they want to make an example, and I think that's unfortunate.
I think I
Kill it.
I think I could come here and make sense every day.
In St. Christopher.
Actually, not only in St. Christopher, but yeah.
We're talking about St. Christopher.
Why?
May I concern nobody else really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Pretty much.
What else do we have on
the agenda? I think we should touch on this one before. We could save one for tomorrow, because I think one for tomorrow going to raise more questions. So let me do this one. So Antigua has a positive COVID case of a waitress who exposed over 100 people at a bar to the virus.
I like drink.
They're in the bubble.
Yeah.
The bubble about to
They
pop.
might be the bubble next week though.
The bubble about to pop. The government of Antigua and Barbuda may soon increase fines for breaching COVID-19 protocols. This comes after a woman is said to have returned to work after testing positive for the coronavirus. According to reports, the young woman returned to the bar where she is employed as a waitress after she got her positive COVID-19 results. She may have exposed over 100 patrons to the virus. Minister of Health Malwin Joseph said an investigation has been launched and the woman may soon be charged. I want to highlight specifically a case where a young lady should have been in isolation. She was positive, yet she left her home and went to work in a bar. I spoke with the Attorney General this morning and he has agreed to assist the Ministry of Health with a dedicated officer whose assignment would only be to assist the Ministry of Health in keeping strict surveillance on people in quarantine. Minister Malwin said that the government has no choice but to consider increasing fines and penalties for the breaching of COVID-19 protocols. He said that each resident has a responsibility to support the government's efforts to slow the spread of the virus. Imagine you just gone to get, you pick up your food, if they served food, and you go home with COVID in your bag.
I believe this is a just cause for death penalty. That's biological. That's
biological warfare.
Yeah, like if you know you have a contagious virus that
attempted murder.
And go to work. Any leg should work like in a cubicle, like punching numbers for an accounting firm.
I don't care where she
She's in the
works.
service industry.
She could work in the sky. Where's she gone?
Walk in a bag.
That is like, but they need to lash you in jail if it is true, because those are
allegations.
It's alleged, yeah. If it is true that she did this, I don't want to see her again.
But it's so funny, like how this even happens, right? Because you get tested positive,
and then you go home.
right? And then you just decide,
But
oh,
then
but I need this shift, yeah.
That's
Let me
the
try
thing.
getting
When
this
the
last shift.
testing
Yeah.
happen, like okay, for example, I don't know how the testing working in Antigua, but when you're tested and your positive result is now presented, is there not some sort of task force that will
you know
deploy people to come and get you?
No, but you know what probably happened? Well, obviously, normally the results take some time, so you have to
Right,
probably go home
to
in
go home and
isolation.
isolate.
Yeah, because you've been exposed, right? So that's why you do the test in the first place. You've been exposed, so you should be in isolation, right? When you're in isolation, you're not necessarily like being watched or anything like that, right? You're just kind of like asked to stay home. So she probably got the results. Maybe she didn't even get the results yet. Maybe she was awaiting it. She did a thing. Did a test.
They said after she received the results. Though.
She's after you see. Well, you see there. So what happened
why
is
she's
that
being
she was not only that she was quarantining at home, or she should be in self quarantine at home.
But this is criminal. This is criminal
Antigua still
offense.
doing self quarantine. Why are they in the bubble?
This is a criminal offense because even down to like in the United States, is a criminal offense. You know, to transmit HIV knowingly to somebody.
Yeah,
it's an offense.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like the same should apply to COVID. Knowingly transmitting it, or having it and just doing as you please, that is a criminal offense. You're engaging in biological warfare. But we'll take a very short break, and when we come back, we'll jump into some chit chat with one of our guests. We'll be right back.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
He can move mountains.
Church Calling, the radio voice of the St. Kitts Christian Council, on Sundays from 7 to 8 p.m. on Win FM. Listen to recommendations for your physical, spiritual, and mental health. Call in and ask your questions or make your suggestions. It's our ministry, so let's participate. Church Calling, Sundays 7 to 8 p.m. Win FM 98.9, winfm.com.
Keep me in the valley. Hide me from the rain. My God is awesome.
Friends is for you and me. Giving back to community. Friends is for you and me. Better for your family. Better service, better price, better value, better choice. Rewarding you for loyalty. Friends is for you and me. Better price and quality.
It's not that I don't love you. You know how much I do. And it's not that I found someone to take the place of you. It's just a fear that builds within me every time you touch my hand. And a dread that shakes my body that even I don't understand. So I'm leaving. Yes, I am. It's time to play it smart.
Welcome back to Island Tea with your faves, Kevin and Amali. And we are joined by the Royal St. Christopher Golf Club. I get it right.
Yes.
welcome.
You go, boy.
So, we just want to take a minute and allow you to introduce yourselves.
Wonderful, thank you.
Speak directly into the
You could bring the microphone closer to you as well.
Yeah, she feels comfortable. So.
Yeah.
My name is Darian Fleming.
Good morning.
Yeah, me finish?
That was
Oh, just wanted to know my name. Darian Fleming.
What's your affiliation with the club?
Golf enthusiast. I'm the current treasurer of the Royal Sinkers Golf Club. I've been playing golf since 1994 or 95. I was introduced to the game. Well, this gentleman here, along with some of his compadres, if I can call them that, back in 1996, along with some other juniors. I was a product of the junior program back then. It's a program that's continuing even now. Well, kind of.
Ish?
Yeah, kind of.
Terms and conditions apply.
Yeah.
Good morning. Zeke Percival, presently the Vice President of the Royal Sinkers Golf Club. Been in golf since 1975, sorry. From a caddy, grew up as a caddy and been playing the golf since ever.
Brilliant. So what's on your minds or your hearts this morning?
Well, I don't know.
A lot? It's all like a lot.
It's we're kind of going through a sort of plight right now.
It's with heavy hearts, way.
Yes, that we announced that since the COVID-19 would have caused the federation to shut down, it's unfortunate that the golf club, has not reopened since that. The executive is tasked with, sort of taking care of everything golf in the federation. We have a robust membership of just under 100 members, right? Locally and internationally. The persons that travel here, snowbirds and stuff, trying to come here year round. But we've been trying to sort of advocate and work with the government and all of the necessary players to kind of get the club back open, but up until this point, we have not been successful in doing that. So we just kind of wanted to take the opportunity to share with the general public what our plight is, and hopefully we can gain some traction with the effort toward getting the course open back up.
Okay, so wait, no golf now keep.
Well, in St. Kitts.
Golf now keep.
The golf at the Nevis.
Is golf keeping in Nevis right now?
Yes, the golf course in Nevis
Was never closed in
Never
Nevis.
closed.
Really?
During the whole pandemic, never closed.
And the plot thickens.
Yes, very much so.
So what's the word coming back from the authorities?
And that's the thing. That's the concern. Not a whole lot. And and for someone who's been involved with the game for all these years, I know the benefits that the golf could bring to St. Kitts. So I'm a bit disappointed that it's not only there for the locals for us to play, but also for the tourists. It's one of the greatest product we have, other than our people. I believe that golf is the greatest product we have for sports tourism.
Right.
Definitely.
Golf brings more people to St. Kitts as a sport than any other sport you could think about, whether it's football, cricket, 2020. None of them bring more people to the island than golf.
Right.
Fascinating.
So it's kind of, you said a lot. It seemed like a lot on the heart. It's not a whole lot. It's just a simple and something that is very important.
But it has big effects, obviously.
Yes.
Definitely.
But let me ask a question, because I might not be the sweetest stalk of sugarcane in the field. So it seems to me that it's not that there's been a cancellation of sports, right? I've been to the park. I've seen football games, right? Now, to my mind, it seems that there's less contact between persons playing golf than a sport like, let's say, football.
That's right.
Right?
Yeah.
It might be easier to enforce things like social distancing.
Because you should social distance already.
Exactly.
Right? So
By the nature
I'm
of the
trying
game.
to understand what could be. I'm not getting it.
My brother, that was the first sport that was allowed to play.
Yeah, worldwide.
Worldwide.
I'm even home, but yet we are still closed, and we were the first one that they said golf could play. But then it's puzzling, really.
We've gone as far as the executive to try and have meetings to at least request
It's not going ahead.
to try and at least get the holes put in on the greens on the golf course, the holes and the flags,
which you know, from our perspective, that would be like a very basic request, because you can play golf by teeing off, at the start of a hole and then hitting to the green, but you typically have a target that you hit to. So
Right.
without the targets in place, you're just going out there to knock balls, so to speak, and that's the only way that we can kind of, for now, I mean, they allow us to go over there and walk the course and that kind of thing.
That's yes.
But you can't have a tournament. One of the things that the club does is host tournaments to raise funds. We've not been able to do any of that since COVID-19 thing. By now, we would have had, this month would have been we keep a breast cancer tournament.
Yeah.
We keep a prostate cancer tournament. In September for Independence, we do a diabetes fundraiser. We do fundraisers with the Rotary Club. And like, we're literally at a standstill as a result of this,
So who? Sorry, Amali, but who does that? Who maintains the course? Is it who actually maintains the course? Because you're telling me the targets and the holes are not even in place yet. Then who's that request?
The maintenance of the course, the government is paying for it.
Okay.
The government is paying for the maintenance of the course now. There was some agreement about Marriott being the management and blah 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 and blah 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 and blah blah blah. But I just can't understand that we are paying for it, but then somebody else is deciding if it was open or not.
And who's making that decision specifically? Is it the government? Is it the hotel?
It's the Marriott.
Or the Marriott?
Yeah.
Finally, we get to the actual meeting.
Yeah, because I was saying it's the task force.
I want to know.
That's what you want to know.
Yeah, who? As I was talking, that's what I was going to ask. I was like, I'm a straight shooter.
Okay.
What is the problem?
Okay.
Who is the
What
issue?
is the problem and who is call name?
Yes, Marriott is the issue.
And what is Marriott's argument?
And I think Marriott and
the government.
I think the government could do more.
Definitely.
Okay.
Question.
So what is Marriott's argument, or are they just not responding?
We don't. Emails
Just
that
not
we would have
responding.
sent, we haven't received
We
responses.
try to, with our president, Mrs. Christy McEachran, and the executive, try reaching out so much times to the then managing director of Marriott, who's now, I hope that he left.
Yeah.
And no response. No response. Just like total disregard for the local members. And the thing is, a lot of local players, members of the club, already paid the dues for the whole year.
I can't use the facility.
I can't use the facility. And then you're not saying to them, hey, we can't use it because of bam, 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 and bam, bam, bam.
I think a few years ago we actually asked this question as it related to ownership of the golf course. Can you all shed some light on that?
Yes.
On who owns the golf course?
The government.
The government.
And the people of St. Kitts.
The lands are owned by the government.
And what is Marriott's interest in the
Maintained.
golf course?
They maintain the
management.
Or the managing.
Okay, so let me rephrase. Let me try to get this. So the government and the people own the land.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
Marriott maintains and manages
yeah.
the land.
Yeah.
So it's an agreement between the two parties.
Yeah.
I don't
So
even
did the government?
I don't even know if I would say they manage the land. I don't think.
They manage the facilities.
The facilities.
Yeah,
the golfing facilities.
They're the managers, yeah.
But the land on which the facilities are on belongs to
the government.
Okay. It's Crown land.
Yeah,
okay.
correct.
All right, because if you want
but Marriott, this would pay to develop the golf course.
In conjunction with the government.
Yeah. What happened
So it was a
there
joint
was
project?
There was a
Yeah,
golf
there
course
was
there
joint
before,
venture.
Before the married, there was a golf course.
There was a golf course there.
But the Vic Dizen then, used to call names, he put some money in and upgraded it to a fantastic property.
Yeah, it's nice, yeah.
So that's
one of the best in the region.
Okay. So now they're holding the golf course hostage.
Well, is it? Do you suspect? I mean, of course, in the absence of proper communication, we have to make some assumptions here. But is it a matter that because the Marriott has basically suspended operation, that they're just not? You think perhaps they're just not looking to open up that part of the operation again? It might be a money issue.
But one of the consensus from our understanding seems to be that the notion is that the golf course does not generate any money. Right? That's the thinking. However, people don't come to St. Kitts just to play golf. They come to St. Kitts for St. Kitts and golf, which would involve, You'll spend money to buy drinks. You'll spend money to
Transportation,
transportation, apparel, food,
tours.
Exactly. Right. Like for example, the Ministry of Tourism organizes a tournament. It's happened every year for the past 8 years. The Admiral's Cup, 8 or 9 years, I think. Where persons would have come in from England, the US, neighboring islands, Canada, and stuff like that. I think the group gets somewhere up into the region of maybe 40 to 50, 60 people sometimes, and people come with their spouses, their kids, and stuff like that. The tournament is played between St. Kitts and Nevis, right? This is something that's happened every year. However, the organizer, who's a gentleman from, I think, Ohio, that works with the Ministry of Tourism, would have realized, and I would have heard him acknowledge this, the fact that the numbers have been dropping because the course has not been maintained to the standard that people once knew. Right, so one of the major issues that we have is a maintenance issue. Like if you go over there right now, I don't know if any of you go walking over there, but the bush is
it's very high.
Yeah,
like the building.
It's very
You see what I'm saying? So
crazy.
like one of our arguments, our positions as the executive of the golf club is like, okay, you don't want to open, at least keep the place looking like something that people want to come to. You could still go out there and take pictures and what's not. But if you go over there and walk,
and it's overrun,
it's terrible. It's terrible. And you're talking about something that both parties would have invested millions of dollars in less than 15 years ago, because it really wasn't that long ago that the upgrade was made. So you just let, I don't know exactly what the budget was for it, but easily, more than likely, 8, 10, 15 million US dollars. You just leave it to just run to ruin.
Yeah, and then it's gonna probably cost more to get it back together.
And then picture Frigate Bay, all of the real estate over there. Persons who live looking down on the golf course, live on the golf course, devalue their property by just leaving this thing to. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah. So whose ministry does this fall under?
Tourism.
You see, the thing is, the people in authority and the people of St. Kitts, because there were some people who will say, "Oh, but what golf and what golf course?" I'm sure there's people.
You ever play golf?
But not professionally, not the best, but I have.
But if people understand this amount of this spin-off that a golf course brings, it's tremendous. Honestly,
Yeah.
There is so much you could do in golf with golf. The spin-off, like Darian alluded to it, that a lot of those condos and all those timeshares and so forth that sold over there, a lot of them was bought on the premise that the golf course was there.
Right.
Yeah, easy access right there.
There's some cruise ships wouldn't come here unless if the golf course wasn't here.
That's right.
The golf course is one of the attractions. You know, because a lot of times you find people who come into St. Kitts or a travel agent or relax, and one of the first things they ask is about the golf course. They will ask about the golf course before they ask about the beach.
Yeah.
So has the executive made any efforts to reach out to the minister responsible for this?
Yes. We've met
To no avail as well?
Correct.
Okay, so
I won't. Well, to no avail, because we had.
If you look at the end result, the golf course
Okay.
has not been open.
So it's to no avail.
So to no avail. Not to not efforts have been
to say
made.
he hasn't made any
efforts.
efforts.
have been made.
Okay.
But
So the meetings have happened, and
Yeah.
okay, but
Right.
still no end result.
I suppose to one of the most frustrating things, as Zeke mentioned earlier, the golf course in Four Seasons has not closed down. Like if you're if you're a hotelier, you look at your competition. You look at who you're trying to compete against. If you between the federation, it's either Marriott or the Four Seasons in terms of what the top hotels and between the two countries are. But
I don't think there's a comparison, but okay.
Yeah. But just, so Four Seasons has a golf course. They have the same issues that the golf course here has in terms of money, pumping money and what's not. Go to Four Seasons and look at the golf course over there. With less staff.
Manicured.
With less staff.
You drop a sandwich, you want to eat it.
Yeah.
It's a big difference.
So
it's either you get it or the monkeys get it first.
Exactly. Yeah, correct. Yeah. So that's from where we sit. It's really mind-boggling to see things sort of going.
I'm gonna be honest here. I think that it seems to me that the government is not adverse to the golf course opening. It seems like the reason the golf course is not opening is based on a decision that's taken by Marriott. That's what it seems like from what I'm hearing. I could be wrong. No, if that is the case, I would have to also assume that it's a money issue. A lot of the benefits that we are listing out, right, are things that impact the country on a whole, right, and not necessarily Marriott. Marriott may benefit from persons staying there as they come, and so maybe they see this as maybe more of a cost than something that they would make money on, and perhaps that is what's driving the thing. It might just be simply a money thing.
Yeah, that's have a lot to do with it. But remember that the government is paying for the maintenance.
Right.
All the workers over there now, the government is paying for the whole maintenance. So Marriott is not paying for any maintenance at all. But you're right. It's a lot
They
about
see the
money.
benefit.
They're not seeing it. They're getting it, but they're not seeing it.
Right.
You know, that's a big argument that residents all around the globe have been fussing about. That a lot of places have been forgetting about the locals and only acknowledging the foreigners. And you know, while the country is closed, you know, they completely isolate the nationals, as if the nationals don't participate and add to revenue as well.
Right.
And you know, they shut down and wait, and then you know, the same breath, when they do reopen, when tourism can, you know, kickstart at some point, they then expect the nationals to jump in and support as if they weren't boycotted earlier.
Exactly. Yeah. This is
apparently we'll take 2 calls for this segment. This is the first one. Caller, welcome. Good morning.
Good morning. Ezekiel Shavan Percival.
That's me.
There are 2 questions I have to ask. One, Mr. Vice President, who do you think should be running the golf course? The Frigate Development Corporation or Marriott? That's one. And 2, do you think that we as a group of golfers can stand up to the Marriott and tell them that we are here locally, the country is not open as yet, and we want to play our golf and we want access to the golf cart and everything? Because as you know, the management of the Marriott has said numerous times that golf is not important to St. Kitts. I will listen after you for your response.
Yes, thanks, sir. Thanks, caller, for your questions. The first one was what was it again? About who should run the golf course.
Yeah.
For years, I've been saying that the golf course. A matter of fact, I sent the Minister of Tourism a short note twice, indicating to him that it could be done locally. I think the golf course should be run locally, because that is one of the issues about money. Because when you bring in a management group from overseas and to run the golf course, and they make $15, out of that $15, they want 6, left you with 9. Then out the 9, you have to take 5 for the maintenance, and then you have to take 4 for the staff wages, left you with none. Now, if we do it locally, we all know it will be the opposite. You probably give the management 4, and then come down to the end, the government or whoever will make something. So, caller, yes, I believe that it could be done locally, and it should be done locally. As a matter of fact, I would love to see the Royal St. Kitts Golf Club run that golf course. I think, I told the minister in my little short note that I believe, I'm tapping myself on my shoulder, I believe this is what I said to him, that I could turn that place into a profit. Because it could be done. It could be done, but it has to be done locally, and the management will have to understand that what client you have. As a matter of fact, when the Marriott first took over, Mr. then Minister of Tourism, Mr. Dwyer Stefan, and Mr. Charles Brisbane, God bless his soul, sent me to a meeting with the Marriott, because we were discussing costs and so forth and so. And I remember saying to the Marriott, then the manager was Kurt Grieve, And I said to him, what you're doing here now, you're destroying a base, and you don't have one yet. Because they came in and they jack the rates up. I said, you're chasing people. There's people here who are accustomed to pay certain amount. Left it like that and add on gradually. 4 Seasons. When the 4 Seasons first opened, it was $90 to play golf there. 90. It's now to 30. But because what 4 Seasons did, 4 Seasons this year it was 90. The following year was 95, and so they put 5, 10, 5, increase. Yeah. And I advise the Marriott to do that, not to chuck up your price and
don't jump from 100 to 5.
and that happened. So I believe it's done locally, and it could be done locally. We have all the, we know Sinkits. Sinkits Nevis. We have the, even if people don't know golf, because you don't have to know the game to manage it.
Correct.
Right.
Because William Lywood, he was manager, know nothing about golf. Pa Morton, know nothing about golf. Mr. Derek Freights was the manager, the hands-on manager there for a few years. He knows nothing about golf. So it could be done locally. Set up a management group. You have people, Daria and myself, there's a lot of golfers around who will love to see that place run to its best, and we will always be there to help in whatever way.
Brilliant. Do we have the caller still?
No, we have the other one.
Yeah.
Oh, Mr. Leo, welcome.
Yes, big man. Z. Yes, let's surprise yourself. That's good. You all want to play golf. But this staff at the golf course, too, has major issues. We're not being paid on time. We need to be paid before I can play golf, too. We were supposed to get paid not Friday, gone, week before Friday. And this is the next payday coming up this Friday, and we still haven't been paid.
The plot thickens.
You understand? So we still have issues over here, too.
But let me say this now. This is not, that is out of the Royal Sinkers Golf Club hands. That's
not man saying it in our hands, yeah.
Oh, okay.
No, man saying it in our hands. We just want, the special.
But I feel,
highlighting the issue.
But I feel
we need to be paid too.
I feel for you, my brother. I feel for you. Because I think people should be paid.
We know what's going on.
People should be paid after they give the service.
Yeah.
But take it to the authorities. Take it to the authorities. We just we just
keep going to everybody. Nobody studying us. The boss man, trying best, trying hard, going all out. Calling, sending emails, nobody studying the boss man. The boss man working hard. So they choke.
But sometimes, boss,
working hard.
Sometimes email and so don't work,
We go to all your services.
Go down and sit down and talk. Sit down and talk to the Minister Grant. Sit down and talk to him, or go to the Frigate Bay Development Corporation. Take your case. Take your case there. Because you see, sometimes, right? Sometimes when bosses or other people say they're fighting for you or up front for you, sometimes they're not taking your message, They're taking their message. You give them a message, but they take another one. So go to the minister, go to the Frigate Bay Development Corporation.
The boss doing that, but it's the bigger heads them just doing studying, man. Whatever going on with Margaret and the government, the workers going.
They seem like a deep road to this.
Whoever listening out there.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
But the government is paying the salaries. So go to the Frigate Bay Development Corporation or go to the minister. You all go down as a group and speak to the minister.
To me, it sounds like going in front of government headquarters with placards or whatever is the next step.
Is the last thing.
Because
and that was what I was going to ask. What's next?
It highlights the whole issue with what's going on over there. Now, how can you expect persons to do their job to maintain things properly if they ain't getting paid?
Right.
You check what I'm saying? Something needs to be done, and that's one of the reasons why we're here. Because people don't know that that's what's going on over there. Because when you look down at Frigate Bay, when you're driving in, you see a nice green golf course. You see nice lakes, you see the bunkers and stuff like that. You look pretty from far. But when you go up close, it's a nasty situation over there for real.
Even the portion, there's a portion of the golf course. I don't know the holes, so I can't tell you where it is. But closer to the seaside, there's a portion of it that has like a tiny lake, a little pond, and that is eventually sort of overflowing onto the course. There's a walking path, driving path.
Yes.
It floods over onto the path.
The path,
so
yeah.
they've thrown dirt down next to the path.
Okay, that's by 18, I think.
Yeah, it's closer to the end.
Coming close to the courthouse.
Yeah, so it's you know, even that area, it's overflowing and you know sort of swamping that
Especially
area
because of all the rain that's
and
been
the
falling
rain
recently.
and stuff. So you know, people walking, and you know, people walk on the golf course. They now have to walk on the actual grass to avoid walking through the water.
Yeah.
I would love to
it's
know.
sad.
I would love to know what the agreement is between the Marriott and the government. Not only just in terms of who pays maintenance, who does what or whatever, but the terms and the length of time. Because I know we like to get these 75-year things and 50-year things and so it is.
that could be one of the
The thing seems like it's a real deep, dark matter. To be totally honest with you, and that call us now kind of highlighting that.
It's sad. People don't get paid.
Well,
but you know, if we are serious about sports tourism and tourism on a whole, the governments, whoever they are in power, have to look after golf. They must. So if our government, present government now, is serious about sports tourism, they will put the nose and the ears and everything into that golf course. Because as we see, there's other stuff going on in different places that wouldn't bring one tourist to St. Kitts. Because I don't think that nobody will leave Canada and come St. Kitts because they want to go on the strip.
Right.
I don't think anybody will leave America and come St. Kitts because they want to go to Black Rock. I don't think anybody will leave Antigua and say they want to go to a beach in Mansion. But I'm going to show this. Hundreds and thousands of people will leave those places and say, look, I'm going to St. Kitts for golf.
To play golf for 2 weeks.
For 2 weeks, a week, or whatever.
Yeah.
We used to have people coming here to play golf just for a day now.
A day.
And then fly back out.
Yep.
Especially to these small islands around here.
Hop over, play
Yeah.
go.
And then we used to have guys coming from Barbados and even Antigua come down to play golf. And
I've spoken.
Your CPL players.
Yeah.
They come.
Oh yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I've spoken to people who have come like for music festival, and they tell me, and the reason we take this music festival gig is really the golf course, yeah. Like they literally take the gig because by the golf course.
And all of them, David, Rudder, all of them guys, when they come here to play golf. As a matter of fact, when the West Indies team come here and so forth, all them guys come out to play golf. They love it. Gango, all them, because I have to go to.
Yeah. So well, that brings us to the end. So we're making the club is making a plea to the powers that be, Honourable Grant. You know, I'm sure this will get back to you to put some more.
Prime Minister, that's the only minister we haven't met with yet.
Wow.
Yet.
Well, that's the top dog, so
so
maybe see something happen there.
People hoping to meet with you soon.
Yeah, so PM, you know, and Honourable Grant, you know, the golf got to keep.
Yeah, it must keep.
It must keep for
sure.
So we're asking for some more effort on the part of the government.
Definitely.
To do what they can to coerce the Marriott into
Fix
playing
it.
ball.
Yes, it's really.
You see what video?
I like it.
To play ball.
I want to appeal to the Prime Minister. And I know he knows that one of the best, finest golfer out of the Caribbean presently now is from his village. Adrian Norfolk from Tabernacle. As a matter of fact, he went up to
New York.
Buffalo, New York last year and won so many tournaments. He impressed so many people.
Really?
Yeah. And if he can't get to play golf now, I know how he feels. Because he loves the game.
And he's here right now?
He's here in St. Kitts,
Yeah, in St. Kitts, yeah.
Yeah, but he's a fantastic
Let me make the phone call then.
Yeah. I walk down,
bring him on board.
Walk down to his residence.
If he's Timo neighbor, bring him on board. Anyway, that brings us to the end. Thank you for joining us and sharing your story. That brings us to the end of this episode of Island Tea. It's Monday. I'm sorry to say. You know, Friday is our favorite.
It happens.
It's really blow off and realize we got to do it 4 more times.
Yeah, but be lawful. You know, don't be lawless. Drive safely. Don't drink too much and drive. And have a a productive and hard-working week.
Yes. May you have a productive and hard-working week.
Yes. And never forget,
you can't be everybody cup of tea because you're not a mug.
Oh, I like that.
See?